Hi.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good, and you?
Okay. Okay, you're waiting for other students to join us. Is it good? My voice is good?
Yes.
Okay. So we will talk today about two chapters, and these are the final weeks, 6, 7, and 8. The last 3 weeks, the semester is going down and is going to get ended. Samalin, what about you? Are the tasks hard for you or not? Easy? I think you are so busy.
Yeah,
Yes.
a little bit.
Okay. Try to finish the tasks before the ending the semester, because all the tasks, even with the late work policies, have some good grades. But without the task, without the assignments, without the learning engagement, the final project and the final grade will be so down. I'm worrying about the failing of all the students. I'm waiting for other students, and I take the grades to the case studies also. Samali, you have gone out from the group. I think you were with Luisa and Marcelina, okay?
Yeah, I'm doing it by myself.
Have you done it?
Yeah, I submitted like the case study analysis, and I will submit the final project by maybe today, tomorrow.
So I will check it again. And the work with Luisa and Marcelina has a good opportunity because both of them are so hard worker.
I know.
Also, it was about the group and teamwork. Because of teamwork. That's good. And David is also. Hi, David. How are you? David, would you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Welcome. David, why didn't you email me the PowerPoint of your previous session presentation about Elon Musk?
Actually, I have to email you a lot of things about what I didn't do this week. I didn't have internet during this whole week, but I can email you the PowerPoint as well.
What are you living at without internet? Even you go to the caves and to the jungles, you have internet.
That's right. I did the presentation at the back of my car, at the truck of my car. For you to have
it was great. It was great. I was so satisfied with your presentation.
Thank you.
Location
Yeah,
is
I'm
not
gonna send
important.
you.
Yes, send me. After that, I want to send it to the students.
Okay.
Okay, I'm waiting for other students. What about the course? Are you studying or not? Your final exam is not so easy. It is not at all easy. It is highly recommended to work on the final exercises of each chapter. I love them.
Is it multiple choice or is it with text answers?
What type do you like as the students? Multiple choice or essay? Multiple choice?
For sure.
David, what about you? What type of quiz do you love?
Well, I don't mind having essay questions, but having like, for example, 10 questions all essay would be kind of tough.
Oh, 10 questions for an exam is very high numbers of questions.
Yeah.
And at maximum it is about 4 to 5.
Okay.
Maybe
Can
one
they all
is
essay questions?
But
Are they all be essay questions?
no, they are all multiple choice, but I'm revising about it.
Okay.
Maybe I will change it until the next week. Because of that, I'm asking what type of question do you like?
Oh. So it depends.
I think for the MBA and DBA, essay questions are better than multiple choice. Because it is related to your attitude, to the fund of knowledge, to the expandation of your knowledge. You can use it for essay. Multiple choice is not so good for DBA and MBA.
Yeah.
I love that. I want to know, how do you think about the field? How other knowledge you have out of the book and out of the course book, out of the university about that question. I love it. But I'm thinking maybe combination of, for example, essay question and multiple choice. But I think honestly, it will be, finally, it will be multiple choice, I think. But I'm thinking about it. Okay, let's go to chapter 9. Today, I hope to have enough time for 2 chapters. I hope also. Okay, chapter 9 and chapter 10 are about the sense making and organization development and sense making approaches. How are different 6 images of change managers in creating and managing change in an organization? They are different. Again, we will review, but not at the first with Luisa. We will start with David. David, what are the 6 images of change managers? We are at the 6th week and we have reviewed at least 6 times, at least. I think more than 10 times we have reviewed. Husamalin, do you know what are the 6 images of change managers? It is for the chapter 1. We are now in chapter 9 in 6th week. You are muted.
I don't remember them.
Thank you for your answer. Thank you. It's very short answer, but not good answer. David, do you know?
Yeah.
What are the 6 images of change managers?
I'd say director, coach, and vision. I think I would say all this. That's all I would say.
In an automobile, in your car, we have some type of director. You are you call it navigator. Director and navigator and caretaker. And in the other part, it is coach, interpreter, and
Nurturer.
Yes. These are the 6 figures of 6 images of change managers in 2 columns with the maintaining the present behaviors or shaping the new behaviors, new goals, and in 3 levels, fully intended, creating new behaviors, fully intended, semi-intended, or partially intended. Welcome, Marcelina. And finally,
Good afternoon.
Welcome. Okay, in chapter 9, we will talk about these objectives: images of managing change, approach and focus, organizational development, OD steps. OD is about organization development, criticisms of OD and larger scale change. AI, what is the other meaning of AI? Very popular than appreciative inquiry. AI is
Artificial intelligence.
Thank you. Positive organizational scholarship, POS, dialogic OD versus diagnostic OD, and sense making. Of the 6 images of meaning managing change, the caretaker and nurturer, the third level, unintended. Caretaker is someone who change management, who manage the changes, unintended, and only want to maintain the present situation. He or she is called caretaker. And nurturer only want to shape new behavior without any intention, unintended. Because of that, they are not so important for an organization. Other 4s are very important. Of the 6 images of managing change, the caretaker and nurturer images have their foundations in the field of organizational theory, having common an assumption that change managers receive rather than initiate change. They are under force to create change.
Nie wolno tu przyłazić.
The other 4 images, director, coach, navigator, and interpreter, have stronger foundations in the organizational change field. Their foundation is not in the organizational theory. Their field, their foundation, they are rooted in the organizational change field. They, in various ways, assume that change managers have an active role in the initiation, support, and outcomes of organizational change, and have an important influence on the way change occurs in the organizations. So you can divide these 6 images of change managers in 2 categories, passive and active. Passive change managers and active change managers in 2 categories. At the first, they think the change is the major part in the nature of the organization, and change manager doesn't have any active role in managing the change. They receive the change, not initiate the change. They are caretaker and also nurturer. These are not so good for studying about because it's a very inefficient view about the change. But other 4 change images included director, coach, navigator, and nurturer. They have, and interpreter, sorry, they have active role in creating change. Okay, I have 4 students here. I want to have a play role of these 4 images of change. For example, if Marcelina was a coach, as a change manager, the images of change manager of Marcelina was a coach, or for David as a navigator, or for Samalin as an interpreter, and Luisa as an director. Who is first to playing his role, his or her role for 1 minute? For example, first we start with Luisa. Luisa is sharper than other people here. And after that with Marcelina, our girls are sharper than our boys here, and I am so sorry for the boys. You should study harder because you are getting back. And in the competition with the girls and women here, sorry, you will be loser. So try harder and harder and harder at first. With our smart student, Luisa. Luisa, if you are as a change manager, if you are a director, how can you describe yourself in your assumed proposed organization? How can you describe yourself? You are a director.
I decide what's going to happen, and then my employees are going to act like I tell them to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm aiming at intended outcomes.
Mm-hmm. What type of changes are you confronting? What type of changes? Present situations or no? Future and desired situation, non-present. What type of changes you are confronting as a director?
I don't understand.
We have two types of changing. Changing about the present
control.
situations. Yes.
You mean controlling and shaping? It is
Yeah,
controlling.
yeah. Controlling about the present situations. Shaping is about the future situation, desired situation. When you are in the column of second column, you are shaping the new behaviors, the new arrangement in your organization. As a director, what type of change manager you are? Controller or shaper?
Controller.
Controller. And thank you. Luisa, if you are a coach, your image of change is a coach. As you have studied about the 6 images of changes, and we deleted 2 last images as caretaker and nurturer. We are talking about other 4 images of change. Director, Luisa is director, Marcelina is coach, Usam Maulin is interpreter, and David is navigator. Marcelina, if you are a coach in your organization as a change manager, your image of change manager is a coach. How can you describe yourself? What type of change manager you are?
Well, I'm more like a
Only 1 minute. Only 1 minute.
motivator.
Very short, very brief, short but sharp.
I am a motivator who is expecting from my workers to have ambition on work, a flexibility for any change, and also to grow up as much they can whenever the company needs the change, and to don't be on the same time because it means that they are back up. And also I am the type of the coach who are providing the workers with a good word, good ability to grow up. And I am a good listener, and I'm expecting from my workers to be a good students as a learning knowledge. And I like to training my workers on the way they.
What type of changes are you confronting? What type of changes are you facing to? Shaping the new changes or maintaining and controlling the present situations? What type of changes are you facing to?
Well, more the controlling one.
Why? You are a coach. Is a coach someone who controls the present situation or no, shaping the new behavior in organization? What type of?
Both, because during the shaping the organization.
Based upon the description in your book, what type of change manager you are. When you are a coach, your focal attention, your focal point is on the controlling the present situation or on the shaping new behaviors, new potentials.
The shaping new behaviors.
Yes, yes. You are right. It is not very, very strict part. Sometimes you are a coach, sometimes you are not a navigator, but you have a dominant image of change manager. Your dominancy, for example, now we call you a coach as a change manager. When your dominant image of change manager is a coach, you are going to shaping the new behavior. Thank you. David, you are a navigator. As a change manager in your organization, you are a navigator. Describe yourself about the type of changes you are confronting in your organization and about your intention about the changes.
So I was gonna say that I'm muted. Yeah, I don't know. As a navigator, I'm more like a shaping person. Shaping the changing instead of controlling. I'm gonna
Is
be like
navigator someone who can shape or
manager, create change, or controlling.
director. After direction, I said you have one directing part in your car, so-called navigator. So a little weaker than director is navigator. Is director in the category of controlling or shaping?
Director is a controlling director.
So navigator is again in the
So
control.
navigator will be controlling because will be controlling since he's gonna try to direct the change.
Yeah. At the present. Other features of you as a navigator, as a coach, as a change manager, when you are a change manager as a navigator, what other types of features you have?
The futures. I was gonna say that I'm gonna try to control the
Mhm.
changes. So I'll have to the futures. I'll need to be like motivational, have a feedback, or teach. Be I don't know what kind of futures should I have.
Okay, thank you. And Hussam Aldin, your image of change manager is interpreter. What type of change manager you are when you are an interpreter in your organization?
Maybe the future one.
Yes. Other things?
Yeah, the one. I'll confirm the one that comes up.
Your voice is not so good.
My voice.
Your voice, I cannot hear you so clearly.
I know because maybe I'm connecting from my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me now?
You are muted. Yes, now we can hear you. Yes, good now.
Yeah, maybe I'm gonna confront the one that comes with the future.
I cannot hear you.
And I'm not muted.
No, you are not muted. Okay, no problem. Okay, thank you. Let's go to the other parts, and after that, we will have some role playing in this week about the different roles. In chapter 9 that we are talking in this session, we are talking about the coach and interpreter. Approach of coach in organization development is organization development, appreciate inquiry, positive organizational scholarship, broadly based on assumption about the importance of humanistic values, openness, honesty, integrity, democratic values, social justice, freedom of choice, involvement, and developmental values about authenticity, growth, and self-realization. Do you remember who was first used the phrase self-actualization? Who is the founder who was coined the hierarchy of needs? 1, 2, 3.
Maslow.
Thank you. Bingo.
You're welcome.
You should know some names at the front of your mind. For example, who is the founder of scientific management? 1, 2, 3.
Tesla.
No. 4.
Sanity.
Scientific management. Who is the father of scientific management? Science of management. At the beginning of the, I think, 20th century. You are getting graduated from the management and business school. It is shameful that you don't know the father of your field. David, who is the father of scientific management? Luisa, Marcelina, Taylor. And who is the most applicable theory about the human needs also in management is called Abraham Maslow, about the 5 stages, 5 levels of human needs. First, basic needs. Second, security needs. Third, love and belongingness. 4, self-esteem. And 5, self-actualization or self-realization. But in the interpreter, image of changer, image of change manager. We have dialogic audit, sense making. They want to give the sense making, the significance of the meaning that people attribute to actions, how these meanings influence people's behavior, and how managers of change can take into account. I have a question. What is the meaning of graduation of MBA for David? What is the meaning? What type of meaning, sense giving, create meaning for MBA? Why, for example, David is paying money to give a document or certification for MBA? Not the goal, the meaning. Do you know what is the difference between meaning and goal?
Yeah, I'd say yes.
What is the difference between a meaning and goal?
Goal,
Goal, yes.
goal, it is something that you want to achieve, like something that you are aiming for. And meaning, it is what that goal means for you. It is what it is the meaning of this effort that you did for this goal. I mean, this goal, they might have the meaning. They are two different things, you know. I mean, the goal can have a meaning, but the meaning sometimes is not a goal.
Which is more important for you? Meaning of your life or goal of your life?
I'd say
Mm.
the meaning. O significado onde
Samalin says goals.
significado. Let me translate from my own language.
Meaning.
I can say, but I'd say that it is the meaning. It's the meaning. It's not the goal. Because sometimes the goal I'm not gonna achieve, but the meaning, it's gonna be something that I can be constantly working on.
Samalin, what do you say? Goals are important than meaning or not? Meaning is important, more important than goals.
Maybe my goal from studying MBA is to get a job or make more money. But the meaning maybe is to be satisfied or more comfortable.
Oh, satisfaction, good life, pleasant life, a meaningful life. We have 3 levels of enjoyable life. Good life in positive psychology has 3 levels. At first, it is pleasant life, more deeper than present, much deeper than present life is satisfaction life. And the deepest level of good life is meaningful life. So meaning of life, meaning of the components of life, for example, meaning of work. You have 2 areas in your life that covers all your time, all your energy, all your mind. Work and love. These are the basic parts of your life. Pay attention to your 2 days life. All your life is covered by 2 areas. Area of work and area of love. Family is in something in the category of life also. Partnership and your original family, your second family, all are in the category of love. And second part is work. Because of that, meaning of the work, meaning of the job you are doing is very important. Why? Because gaining money is not enough for everything. You know a lot of people who have a lot of money, but they are not happy. It doesn't have any meaning for them. Also, in the opposite situation, you know a lot of people who doesn't have a lot of money, and also they are not happy. So happiness is related to your meaning of the jobs, of the actions, of the things you are doing, not to your success, substantial or materialistic success. Okay, and after that in chapter 9. The evolution of organizational development, we have a historical course here, historical timeline from 1940s to 1980s. You see a national training lab, laboratories, NTL and T groups, action research and survey feedback, participative management. It is Likert, and productivity and quality of work life, and strategic change at the end of the 1980s. Traditional OD approach, fundamental values. When you are talking about the historical course of everything, you should consider some type of times. For example, we can talk about the ancient times. We can talk about the industrial times. You know that power in human in different times had different symbols. For example, when we lived in the jungle about 50,000 years ago, everybody was black. In the land that you are now call it Africa, everybody was in there about 50,000 years ago. And we lived in jungle. So what was the symbol of power in the jungle? Who is more powerful in the jungle? With a better muscles, with a better, for example, power of fighting against other animals, against other human beings. And after that, civilization was starting. And during the civilization, the power symbols changed from the muscle to the government, to civilization. Tribe is a basic part of civilization. You were a member of a, who is chief of tribe, who is the boss of tribe. And after that, change it to the industrial and, for example, who has the fire, who has the iron, and other. About the, for example, 200 years ago, the symbol of power was industrialization. After that, in 20th century, it became money, capital. And now the symbol of power is, what age is called? Our age is age of?
Technology.
Now technology was about 50 years ago.
Oh, good.
Today is not the age of
Renaissance.
No, Renaissance about 400 years ago. Now our age is about age of? What is the power symbol? Who is more powerful now? Age of information. Now the power symbol is information. 20th century and 21st century is called age of information. And it is surprise that you have a lot of accessible to information. You have internet. Also, David sometimes doesn't have any type of internet. Okay. But generally, we have internet. With these data pollution, extra information, not real, not true information even, this age is called age of information. The true information is the basic part of your power. So organization development has played a central role in the management of organizational change for more than half a century. It has been arguably still is the major approach to organizational change across the Western world and increasingly globally. Three value sets in the traditional approach to the organizational development. We have a set of values in three parts: humanistic values, democratic values, and developmental values. Humanistic values relates to openness, honesty, and integrity. Democratic values relates to social justice, freedom of choice, and involvement. And developmental values relates to authenticity, growth, and self-realization. And other types of values are called fundamental values. They are organizational development is planned. The top of the organization is doing the organizational development. When we say it is planned and involves a systematic diagnosis of the whole organization system, a plan for its improvement and the provision of adequate resources. It is very important that you look at the organization as a live being. Your organization is not out of your living, out of your existence. It is a live being, a lot of interaction, feeding. For example, when you are talking about an investment in your organization, is a type of feeding to organization. When you are talking about the punishment and reward system in your organization, you are creating some type of training in the behavioral education in your organization. Your organization is a live being that its cells are the persons. Organizational components are the persons, are the co-workers, are the employees. They are like the cells in a whole live being, so-called organization. The top of the organization is committed to the change process. It is very important. It is very important. In every type of change, commitment to change is the first and most crucial condition for creating a change. Why? We talked about it previous weeks, about the change resistancy. Everybody wants to escape from the change. We are change resistant. So if you don't have any good, any rigid, any deep commitment to creating and following the change will not occur. You will be, we call it slow starter and fast and rapid finish. You will start the change so slow and you will finish it so fast. It is not change. It is a radical, it is not radical change. Very, very fast, easy come and easy go change. It is not change. Something's about modification. And organizational development aims at improving the effectiveness of the organization in order to help it achieve its mission. We talked about the mission, vision, and values. And also I sent some articles for you in the Moodle about these combination, mission, vision, values, and strategy. And organizational development is long-term, like other types of change, like other type of development in our humanistic life. When you want to create a change, you should do it as a habit. You should create a habit. And after sometimes you will be habituated with the change. It is not change, it is your lifestyle after sometimes. Why? Repeat, feedback, feedback, repeat, repeat, feedback, feedback, repeat, until the time that it is not change. It is your new lifestyle. Because of that, in organization, like a human being, in organization also, it is a long-term process, typically taking 2 or 3 years to achieve effective change. It is action-oriented. When your plans are only on a paper, sorry, it's a plan of change. It is not change. Action orientation is action, or to be action-oriented is one of the greatest and basic features of every type of change agents. Every type of manager, dominant manager, influencer manager, supporting manager, coordinate manager, analytical manager, every type of manager who wants to be a change manager, he or she would be action-oriented. She would be result-oriented. He or she would be process-oriented. But the first thing is action-oriented. If you don't have any required action to create your change in your life, in your organization, sorry, it is not the process of change. It is only a paper change plan. That's it. Only that's it. And changing attitudes and behavior is a focus of the change effort. If you create a change in your organization, in your real life, in your family life, in your partnership, love life, if you want to create a change, how and when can you know that yes, change is created? By objective criteria. What are the objective criteria? Observable criteria, behaviors, and actions. So you should observe. You can observe the change results. If you cannot observe them, it is not change. Again, it is a change plan on the paper. And experiential-based learning is important as it helps to identify current behaviors and modification that are needed. When we talk about the experiential approach to human being, to organizations, to society, it is meant that what is important, what is most important in these approaches, which included experiential approach to human being to create change. It is meant that what is most important is how people, how an organization, how a society are experiencing the change. For example, we talk about it that if you want to reduce the change resistance in people, you should talk about the benefits of the change for them. If they think that what is in it for me, what is against me, we talked about it in the previous sessions about the change resistance and how to reduce the change resistance in your employee, in your managers, mid-level managers, and other people. Also, if you studied this course very good, you can use it in your daily life out of organization. The concepts are the same. The contents are the same again, but the target of the change different. At the one level, you want to create change in your organization. Another level, for example, you want to change in your love partner. The content and the concept are the same. The target are different. Very, very, very little difference, very little. So if you talk, if you study, and if you read this book and this course so effectively, not only in your memory, in your behavior, in your word you are using in your daily life, you can use this schedule of change management in other parts of your life. I have used it. As a psychologist, I have used it, and it was wonderful for me, because before that, as a psychotherapist, I knew a lot about the change management and creative change. I'm a psychotherapy. Yes, I should create change in other people's who has come to me as clients, I know. But after knowing the knowledge of organizational change, something more added to my previous knowledge and previous skills. And groups and teams form the key focus for change. Why? Because when you are talking about the organization, you are not talking about the individuals. Organizational components, yes, they are individuals, but the basic part of organization is not about the one person. What do you want to organize? One person? Organization at this about two components, two elements, two persons, organized and harmonized, directful and purposeful to each other. For one, for example, single same purpose, single same goal. So groups and teams are the key focus for change. So in this part, we want to talk and we want to look at the organizational development steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps we have. At first, problem identification or problem definition. I have talked about it in the previous sessions with you. I repeat again now. We have 10 life skills in WHO, World Health Organization, as the main source for determining the different aspects of health, has defined 10 skills, so-called life skills, the skills that you should know to manage, to handle your daily life. One of these skills is called problem solving. For example, anger management, stress management, interpersonal relationship, effective relationship, self-awareness, and other parts are from these skills. One of these skills, which is related to your job as a manager, is problem solving. Everybody should know how to solve a problem. from the age of, for example, 12, 13. From the beginning of teenager, everybody should know how to solve a problem. The first component, the first stage, the first step of problem solving is problem identification. If you don't know what is the problem, how do you know? How do you want to know? What do you want to solve? So problem definition, or a little deeper, problem identification is the first part of organizational development, also in problem solving skill. After that, you should have some consultation, not counseling, consultation with the professional people in the field of your problem, your organizational problem. After that is data gathering and problem diagnosis. It is something like the pathway you should go for your dissertation in MBA and also in DBA. You have 4 stages: data collection, data analysis, results, and discussion. These are the 4 major and basic part of your dissertation or thesis for your MBA or for your DBA. It is something like that. Data gathering is the same, data collection, and problem diagnosis, data analysis, and feedback. The major feature of intelligence is feedback. The major difference between a smart one and stupid one is feedback. Stupid people doesn't have any feedback. It is the major difference, the main difference. So both smart people and stupid people have a lot of mistakes. Yes, why not? Trial and error, trial and error, trial and error, and finally trial and not error, you are successful. But the stupid people, trial, error, for reducing the again and repeat and the next error, you should have, after error, you should have some feedback. Stupid people doesn't have any feedback. Repeat, 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 repeat until the end of their life. Because of that, they don't have any new experience. They have the same problems for several years. Why? No feedback. Also, you as the managers know the concept, the feed forward, this is something else, but feedback is the major part of to be intelligent. Joint problem diagnosis. Why joint problem? Because you are an organization, you are a group, you are a team. If the problem you have diagnosed as the major problem of your organization doesn't have any meaning for other co-workers, for other members of the organization, it is not a joint problem. They cannot have a good cooperation with you to solve the problem. They are not knowledgeable about the problem. So discussing and talking and graphing the problem to reach a joint problem diagnosis is very important, that finally in organizational development, every member of organization should know what is the problem, what is our joint problem. And after that, joint action planning. Problem definition, strategy, action plan. Why action plan? Again, because it's an organization, it's a family, it's a society, it's a community, it's a team, it's a group, it's a department. It's not only one person. You should have, it's like a fight. You have some techniques and some tactics. If you have only techniques, you are individual. If you don't have any tactic, you are not individual, but you don't work harmonized together. It's an orchestra. Everybody plays his or her instrument, yes. His or her own instrument, but in harmonization with other players. So it is called orchestra. It is like that. Joint action planning. Everybody has a little piece of this puzzle, yes, but in harmonization to other pieces. So finally, you can have a good puzzle and have a good solution for your puzzle or your problem. change actions. It is about, again, about the feedback and further data gathering. And again, problem, new identification of problem. And again, it is something like algorithm, which you can find in computer science. Problem identification. Someone in the organization becomes aware of what that person thinks is a problem that needs to be addressed. Consultation with an OD practitioner. The client and the practitioner come together with the latter endeavoring to create a collaborative dialogue. Data gathering and problem diagnosis, interviews, observations, surveys, and analysis of performance data occur to assist in problem diagnosis. Each of these techniques is recognized as an intervention in itself, in the sense that it involves an interaction with people. Now, feedback. The consultant provides the client with relevant data, at the same time protecting the identity of people from whom information was obtained. It is very important that when you want to gather information, your resource should be a valuable and a valid resource. For example, the major time of the weekly study is about learning engagement. You should have a good learning engagement, an initial post, and after that peer replying and other things. University CalMU has provided you Learn, L-I-R-N, as a good database for gathering information. Because of that, this is the age of information, yes, but with these huge data pollution, you should know which information is correct, which is not correct, which is profound supported by the data or not, which is very superficial and it is not profoundly supported by other data or other scientists and other articles. Because of that, in the age of information, accessing to good data sources and databases is very important. So you should identify the persons or the sources you are gathering information. Joint problem diagnosis. As part of the action research process, people are involved in consideration of information and discuss what it means in terms of required changes. And joint action planning, the specific actions that need to be taken are identify, change actions, the introduction of and transition to new techniques and behaviors occurs, and further data gathering. Outcomes of change are determined and further actions identified. As an organizational development practitioner, as a change manager, we are talking about the coaches. As an organizational development practitioners, what skills do you need? You need 4 skills: interpersonal skills, intrapersonal skills, interpersonal skills, general consultation skills, and organization development theory. You should know about these theories. Which is more important for you, intrapersonal skills or interpersonal skills? Intrapersonal skills is the skills for the relationship with yourself, intra. Interpersonal is the skills you should know and you should be trained for communication with other people. Which is more important for you? David, which is important, relationship with yourself or relationship with other people?
I would say intrapersonal skills, because I think once you have yourself solved, once you have yourself solid and with the content to say, to speak, you're gonna feel more confident to speak with others. So your interpersonal relations will be like better, have a better outcome.
What about you, Marcelina?
Well, I'm kind of like half and half. It's not like that I like to be always on the first place. But I'm the kind of person who likes to be the boss. But the boss is not always good to be the boss, because to be an example for your workers is not the way to be the boss all the time. You have to motivate people the way you can find the need, and you can be a right example, not the scary example, because people, they are running. It's just like the relation. If you want to keep your partner on the hand like that, it will be always nothing, and me, I like to be right with myself, but in the respect way for each other.
Mhm. So your first priority is yourself.
Oh, yes.
Do you know yourself as a selfish woman or not?
No,
Because sometimes to be selfish is good. Sometimes.
sometimes, but not everywhere, because to be selfish sometimes is a short way to be greedy for yourself,
Yes.
and greedy is not good,
That part of to be selfish is good, that we call self-esteem. People
Well,
with high self-esteem sometimes are seeming to be seen from the external parts of their life. Other people say they don't have any self-esteem. They are selfish, ego-centered. Sometimes, not always.
but I met the people like that.
But
But
when you are
might not
selfish,
like that.
it is not important other people. When you have a good self-esteem, you are so important for yourself, but it doesn't mean that other people doesn't have any meaning for you, doesn't have any importance and significance for you. You are your first priority. You are the first, not the unique. When you think that you are unique, you are selfish, you are grandiose, you are narcissistic, you have narcissistic personality. But when you think, no, I am not unique, but I am at the first ranking of my life. What about you, Luisa? Interpersonal skills or intrapersonal skills?
I would say intrapersonal skills are more important because you have to start working on yourself before you could like expect it from others, for example. And yeah, in order to work it out with other people, you have to be sure, I guess, who you are and what you want. So I would go with intrapersonal skills.
Yeah. Self-knowledge and self-evaluation, self-discovery. I want to call it self-mining. One of my good courses in general psychology for general population is called self-mining. I don't use discovery. I don't use knowledge. I don't use awareness. It is mining, something deeper, harder, and very crucial than discovery. It is mining. Self-mining, in my theory also, in my courses, has three parts. At first, self-discovery. Second, self-knowledge. And third, self-building, self-making. In self-discovery, you discover your traits, you discover your feelings, but you cannot call them what type of emotion it is. For example, you think that when you are at a virtual class like this, you are not so happy, you are not so, for example, free, so comfortable. You have a bad feeling. It is discovery. After that, you want to call this emotion. Is it stressful? Am I anxious? Am I angry? Is it boring for me? This part is self-knowledge. And after that, with the components you find in yourself, you can create and build a new character. It is called self-building or self-making. And general consultation skills. Highly recommended to you that please read a book about business coaching. It is very important for you to know the general consultation skills, or read a book about the general consultation skills. I will find a good and simple book and I will introduce you in the Moodle as a book for general consultation skills. It is not about counseling, it is about the soft skills. What are the soft skills? Who knows here that what are the soft skills? Have you heard about it? What are the soft skills? Okay, soft skills, as you can predict from its name, it is about the skills that are in your daily behavior to have some impact on other people, on your organization, on other parts of your life, some impact, some good expression and some good impact on other parts of your life. These are called soft skills. For example, effective communication is a soft skill. Problem solving is a soft skill. Interpersonal communication, consultation skills are soft skills. You should have a good fund, a good battery of these skills, because you will be manager and you will not be counter, you will not be a boss, you will not be a mid-level co-worker, you will be manager, maybe mid-level manager, maybe high-level manager. You should know how to work with other people. And these are out of your regular study in the university. You should know about the soft skills. And the last part is organization development theory. You should know about the theory to ensure that they have a current understanding of the specialist field of which they are a part. Classic OD change intervention process, you should know about the Kurt Lewin. Kurt Lewin is a psychologist. He is not a manager, but he is one of the greatest and first psychologists who study industrial psychology, organizational psychology, and also in developmental psychology. We use a lot of his theory about the change. The first serious thinker about the process of change in human being with a good theory about it is Kurt Lewin. Lewin changes process say we change for creating change in our life, in our organization, in our society. We should take 3 stages. First, unfreezing. If you are freezed in this situation, present situation, you cannot change. At first, you should be unfrozen, unfreezing, establishing a need for change. And after that movement, okay, go forward to new behavior through cognitive restructuring. Cognitive restructuring, it is about the restructuring your beliefs, your pre-assumptions. Now, it is not only cognitive in the modern psychology after about the previous 20 years ago, from 20 years, since 20 years ago, we are not only talking about cognitive restructuring, we are talking about cognitive emotional restructuring, which is very important. And after that, when you get the new situation, when you created the desired change you want to do in your organization, you will enter the stage of rephrasing. Rephrasing, integration of new behavior into social and organizational relationships. These are the 3 stages of Kurt Lewin's change process. But action research change process, it is other type of process for creating the change is identification of problem, consultation with OD practitioner, gathering of data, and other things that we talk about. What are the organizational development limitations? 1, organizational definition and concepts. 2, internal validity problems. And 3, external validity problems. These are the limitations that you will confront in the course, in the path of creating a change. At first, OD definitions and concepts. OD may consist of single or multiple intervention over different periods of time. So establishing the relationship between OD and its ability to enhance organizational effectiveness is difficult, especially given that the latter term itself also lacks precise definition. When you are talking about the organizational effectiveness, you may be encountered with a lot of ambiguity in your mind, in your operational definition. If you don't have any operational definition for the things you want to do in your life, in your community, in your organization as a manager, if you don't have a good and a clear operational definition, you will be ambiguous about the what to do for creating that type of change. So, especially given that the latter term itself also lacks precise definitions. The other part, the other limitation of organizational development is internal validity problems. This relates to whether the change that occurs was caused by the change intervention or a range of other factors. It is very important that what are the causes of the change you want to create in your life or in your organization. It is internal validity. It is change for change or not. Change because of other things. It is change for controlling present moment, for controlling the present features of your organization. It is the director, navigator, and caretaker as the three images of change management. And no, we want to shape a new, for example, behavior, new goals, and new traits in the organization. It is about the coaching, interpreting, and finally, it is the nurturing. And external validity problems. This is the generalizability question and relates to whether audience techniques are appropriate to all organizational settings. It's very important that you distinguish and you know the differences between the internal problems and external problems. Lack of theory is a very formal and very regular that in a lot of changing situations, you don't have any good theory to work based upon it. There is no comprehensive theory of change to assist researchers in knowing that to look for what they study. And problems with measuring attitude changes, using pre-change and then post-change surveys to measure attitudinal changes is problematic, as people may view the scale differently when they answer it a second time. In, for example, researchers in some surveys, we have two parts, pre-test and post-test. And as you know, in your book says pre-changes and post-changes. Before change and after change, what has been done and what type of changes has been created in your organization. You should know, you should find a basic line, a primary line, and a baseline for your work. Where are we now? It is your baseline, pre-change, pre-test. And after that, you have some interventions. You have some actions. You are managing some types of change-related actions and change-related behaviors or feelings or other parts of your organization. Now, after that, you should know what type of changes has been created in reality, not in your mind. What type of changes can you see in reality in your organization, in your behavior, in your family member behavior, in society behavior? You are now going to be a change manager, not even for your organization. A change manager is always a change manager. So because of this importance of this skill that I say you, please read, study, and apply this course very, very profound and very deep in your life, because when you are a change manager, you are a change manager. For change managing, you should know what is the present stage, where do you want to go, what is the desired states, a pre-test, a pre-change assessment, and a post-change evaluation. Before intervention, it is called assessment, gathering information. After intervention, after creating change, it is not called assessment, it is evaluation. Pre-test and post-test. And the final limitation is problems with normal science approaches to research. You know, you should know, as the MBA students, and after that as the DBA students, you should know and you should have a good knowledge about the research methods. Why? Because when you say, as Dr. Guyabadi says, that you will not be a doctor, you will become a doctor. It is a course of becoming, not the point of being. When you want to becoming a doctor, it is different from being a doctor. For becoming a doctor, you should gain a specific type of thinking about the life, evidence-based, based upon the correct and valid evidences, how to work with information, how to gather them, how to assessment them, how to gain the result, and discuss about the information. This type is philosophical mind. Because of that, it is called PhD. PH is the first letters of philosophy of doctorate, or doctorate of philosophy. Philosophy doctorate is in Latin word. PhD, PH is for philosophy. Philosophy is type of thinking, a style of thinking. So because of that, one of the problems in organizational development is how can we use the techniques in research method, scientific research method, to do the organization development. Is there any question? So we should have 10 minutes breaks. And after that, we come again here to continue the course. After 10 minutes, I will see you again. Welcome back, and we will continue our course. Criticisms of organization development. As OD has become more widespread, so have questions about its strengths and weaknesses as an approach to managing change. Do you know that the OD we are talking about just now, it is about traditional approach to creating any change in organization? Some questions like, is the OD emphasis on humanistic values, for example, open communication, participation, and empowerment, up to the task of bringing about change in thought, competitive environments? This is the first question about the traditional approach, diagnostic approach in organizational development that we talked about it in the previous part of our session. Is OD too slow and too incremental when organizations often require change to be rapid and transformational? Are OD values universal, or are they culturally specific? It is very important, and I will talk about it just now. Is OD able to handle the challenges associated with the larger scale change? Specifically, the last two parts about the questions, criticism about OD is very important. In every aspect of humanistic sciences like psychology, sociology, management, business, and other parts that are related to the human sciences, it's a very basic and crucial question that our findings are universal and over the culture or no? It is culture related or it is culture based, and I don't know, I should say unfortunately or fortunately, because every type of knowledge you find except of brain, we have some general knowledge about the brain in overall, in universally, in all aspects of human life in all the countries. We have general mapping of brain, except of brain in other parts of human sciences like psychology and sociology and business and management. We have a lot of specific culture-specific data, and it is very hard to generalize the data from one country, from one culture, from ethnicity, from race to another, geographical components of the world or other races, other ethnicity. One aspect is so good because when you have some specific knowledge about, for example, a specific race, a specific geographical area of the world, a specific ethnicity, you have a good and deep knowledge about specific part of world. But the bad side, the hard side is you cannot easy to generalize this data to other ethnicities, other races, other cultures. Because of that, it says one of the criticism of organization development is about this question: are all the values universal, or are they culturally specific? And second one is that when you are talking about the larger scale changes, are we talking about the organizational changes, social changes, community-based changes, personal changes, deep personal changes, family-based changes? What type of changes are you talking when you use the word larger scale change? And after that, in the next PowerPoints, we will talk about these two problems and two issues about the organizational development. Are value universal? Levinian Oddy assumption and Confucian and Taoist assumption, which is some types of Chinese and Japanese thinking about the management. You know, for example, do you know what is the meaning of Kaizen? We have talked about the Kaizen before. Do you know the meaning of Kaizen in management? It is very, very popular word in in the second half of 20th century. Kaizen, K-A-K-I-Z-E-N or K-A-I-Z-E-N. Kaizen. Do you know what's the meaning of Kaizen in quality control or quantity circuits in industrial engineering and other parts of management or engineering? What is Kaizen? You are muted, Marcel.
Change for better.
Change for better, yes. It is the major and main definition of Kaizen. But what is the Kaizen in management? Especially in Toyota company, in Japanese, Korean, and Chinese companies. Kaizen is one word from Japanese word. It is very important. What is the quality-based Kaizen definition? Yes, changing and better and zero defect.
Exactly. No problema.
Yes, zero defect is not meaning no problem. It is meaning the changing for better and better and better, constant and never ending changing and constant and never ending improvement. It is called Kaizen, one of the basic and major and crucial concepts moved from Japanese quality of control tradition, Japanese quality of control culture to American culture. When they wanted after World War II, they wanted American industry people and also Japanese industry people work together to create a shared and a joint culture of quality control, because the war destroyed everything in America and also in Japan as two major part of power, industrial power in the world. Some concepts from Japanese culture, from Japanese popular culture, transmitted and transformed and transport to the American culture. One of the basic concepts is Kaizen, zero defect. They said that we want to have zero defect in our production. It is the basic philosophy of mind in our quality control circles or quality circles. And now you know that, for example, car industry, auto industry in the world is captured by a lot of good Japanese companies, especially, for example, Toyota. So it is Confucian and Taoist assumption about the organizational development and Levinian and Western assumptions. For example, in Western culture, we say organizational development is linear movement from past situation to the present situation to the future situation. But in Confucian or Taoist assumption, they said it is cyclical. It is not linear from past to present. Everything is related together. As you see, I should find it to show you the picture of yin and yang, a paradoxical opposition altogether, that it is dialectic feature and dialectic nature of every being in the world. One dark side, one white side, one female side, one male side, one zero side, one side. Okay, and the Next one is progressive, new state more desirable. But in Confucius, they said it is processional, harmonious movement from one state to another. It is not progressive, changing from one state. It is harmonious. And in Western culture, they said organizational development should be goal-oriented, specific end state in mind. But in Taoist and Far East culture, they said it is a journey-orientated. They say mindfulness, that journey is destination. When you want to go a journey, if you love the road, if you love the path you are going, honestly, your journey is your destination. Your destination is your journey. What does it mean? That it is not important what is the final what you have reached in your life. When the life is a journey for you and you love your journey is destination, or your destination is your journey. You are experiencing the journey. So organizational development in the Far East culture, in Chinese, Japanese, and Korean culture, it is a journey oriented, not a goal oriented. So it is very good for everybody, for every human being that feels like life as a journey. When different stops, different stations, yes, you are here, and after that go to the other step, other station, and you will love and you will enjoy the roadmap and the map and the territory and other parts of your life. And sometimes you will you will reach to the specific goals, a specific point of journey. And the other one is based on creating disequilibrium by altering current field of sources. In Western culture, for organizational development, we need disequilibrium from going from one present situation to the next situation. But in Far East culture, they said, based on maintaining equilibrium, if you lose your equilibrium, if you go to the disequilibrium situation, you are not harmonized, don't have any good feeling. You are in the fear and greed. It is a game of fear and greed. Sometimes you have a fear of going forward. Sometimes you have a lot of greed for going forward. It is not harmonious. Planned and managed by people separate from change itself. Application of techniques to achieve desired ends. It is something like psychology in Western countries, in Western cultures, and in Eastern cultures, especially in Buddhism tradition. In Western and manual-based psychotherapy, we use some protocols, some manuals for creating change, for modifying or changing behavior, changing mindset, how you want to regulate your emotions, how to deal with your life, with your family. It is so manual-based. It is so clear. At this side, this is very good. And so technical. At this side, it is, again, so good. But sometimes you think that it is so rigid, so technological and technical. In Eastern medicine, in Eastern philosophy, in Eastern management, you see that everything should be felt by yourself. You should have a good, deep feeling about what you are doing. So observed and observed and followed by involved people. People are not separated from the change created in their life, in their organization. They have a good sense of belongingness to the organization. They are from organization. And unusual assumption of a static or semi-static is stated outside of change process, but it is usual assumption of constant change, as in the yin-yang philosophy, each new order contains its own negation. Yin-yang, as I talked about it some minutes ago, it is two parts, two opposite parts of every being in the world. It is dialectic thinking about the world. The final part, it is about large scale change in organization development. OD was seen as too slow, too incremental, and too participatory, to be the way to manage change at a time when organizations often face the need to make major change and to do so with speed. Some applications of OD have developed with a specific whole system focus such as Word Cafe, Town Hall Meeting, and Future Search. The largest scale change approach typically involves bringing all organizational members or stakeholders together in one place. Some companies, no, sorry, some approaches, some models for larger scale change techniques are search conference. It is a change technique. Future search, real-time strategic change, World Cafe, town hall meeting, Simuriel, whole system design, open space technology, ICA strategic planning process, participative design, fast cycle full participation, larger scale interactive process, and appreciative future research. That as the model, as an example, now we will talk about some of them. One of them is search conference format. Search conference format is a change technique based upon the larger scale. It has 5 stages. Stage 1, phase 1, identify relevant world trends, shared understanding of a global environment, share meaning, share goal, share hobbies, share time, share of everything is the basic part of integration and integrity of people together. For example, when you are working as the co-workers, an employee in an organization, you should have share meaning of your organization. You should have share goals in your organization. You should have share pleasure in your organization. To have some share things together is the basic part of joining together for creating something new. Sometimes it is called change. Sometimes it is called family. Sometimes it is called relationship. A good family, a good relationship, a good change, a good organization is someone or somewhat with the shared component. So it is very important to be together to create, as I think it is the motto of Nordstrom. Together we are better. It is to be together, it is very important. And for being together, it needs a lot of share components. And phase 2, identify how trends affect a specific issue, organization, and institution. It is meant how global trends impact on operation of the system. We are talking about the search conference format technique for creating large scale. Why we are talking about the global? Because in this technique, we want to create large scale changes. And 3, evolution of issue, organization, institution, creation of its history, including its chronology, timeline. Chronology, it is the time, it is the knowledge of time. And phase 4, future design of issue, organization, institution. It's been use of a small group creativity and innovation to design a consistent scenario for the way forward. And final part is phase 5, strategy formulation, generation of aggregate action plans. From the theory in the phase 1, we reach to the shared aggregate action plans in the phase 5 for creating a change. Another technique, another model for creating larger scale change, it is called Word Cafe. Word Cafe is a larger scale audio intervention technique developed by Juanita Brown and David Isaac, 2005. It has been described as one of a new generation of methods that attempts to achieve collective change by bringing all members of stakeholders of a system together in one place, using a highly structured process of movement to create flexible and evolving networks of conversation. Because of that, it is called cafe. Cafe is somewhere you go for sharing and for conversation and have a good time, but it is a model of creating large scale. Because of that, it said Word Cafe from different parts of the world, from different parts of stakeholders, from different parts of organization, we are talking together as conversation for brainstorming, for example, using some application like XMind and other parts. It is Word Cafe. We bring our mind in the session to create the change. Typically, the event is held away from normal workplace and uses small face-to-face grouping seated at a collection of small cafe-like tables as the basis for rounds of conversations. Convened one or more facilitators. The Word Cafe involves series of issues, questions being addressed by participants. Table membership changes between various rounds of question, although one person usually remains as the table host. Each table usually reports back orally to the group as a whole between rounds, and the meeting ends with the whole group discussing what has occurred. One of the newest procedures in CalMU for this semester is that for MBA and DBA students, we said you should do your case study, not individual case study, as group case study. Just for organizing three people. I saw that some students, some adult students, you are not high school students, you are going to give your MBA, and after, for example, 1 or 2 years, you should be a manager. But I saw that there are some problematic issues, some questions, some sometimes out of the order activities for managing only 3 people. It is a very, very bad alarm for you as a future manager. If you cannot manage yourself with only 2 other students, that they are your classmates, they are not your members, they are not co-workers, not employees, they are their classmates. And it is a very simple, scientifically based report, so-called case report. Because of that, you see that creating share meetings only for 3 people as a student group is not so easy. It has some hidden parts, hidden components. Because of that, some methods like Word Cafe is very, very popular, very lovely, and very effective because it is not so formal, but it is very normal. The event is dense, is symbolic. Tables are often covered with red and white check tablecloth, reminiscence of an Italian restaurant, as well as bud vases with flowers, sheets of butters, and other things. Now we are going to the final part of this chapter. It is called Appreciative Inquiry, or AI. As you know, other meaning of AI is artificial intelligence. It is a joke also about it. It is not the same. Appreciative inquiry. Techniques of inclusion appropriate to large scale or large group interventions led to them being labeled as part of a new engagement paradigm, a new type of social innovation, a paradigm shift, an evolution in human thought, vision, and values uniquely suited to our awesome 21st century technical, economic, and social dilemmas. In opposite, AI takes as its starting point not current problems, but what is it that's working well in an organization. Change is framed as a process of identifying what might be possible in the future by building on existing strength. Shows a form, problem solving to joint envisioning of the future. How a manager can have a vision about future. You know that everybody who has ability to predict, to see, to watch, to have a good vision about the future, he or she will be the next leader. The concept of leadership is the concept of future-oriented watching, vision, future-oriented. It is the major concept of leadership. It is the major difference between managers and leaders, that managers are focused on the present stage, a present moment, and the present facilities of an organization, but leaders are thinking about the future. Leaders are future-oriented, non-leaders are not. So what is scales and what is skills and skills can someone have to predict the future? How do you think about it? Is there any specific theory, specific application, a specific methodology to predict the future of an organization, or to have something like a strategy? Strategy, you know that the strategy is your instrument, your mindset for connecting the present, the mission to your vision. In this distance, you can use your strategical thinking or strategical management. What type of thinking do you think that we can have to predict the future? Future of organization, not future of your destiny. Is there anybody has any view about it? The techniques for predicting the future in mathematics, in economy, in management.
Can you, Professor, repeat the question?
I asked the question that someone who is a leader, he or she should have the ability to predict the future. What type of skills, what type of knowledge someone can have to predict the future of an organization? What type of knowledge or skills you should have to be a good strategic leader, to know about the future? Is there any knowledge you know that with that knowledge, with that skill, you can predict the future? You should have a good vision about the future of your organization, of your industry, maybe sometimes of your country. One of the best techniques, Luisa have talked about it. That techniques, that the concept, Luisa has a good presentation, was one of the greatest techniques, greatest concepts for visioning the future. What was the label of technique or theory? Luisa talked about it. Nobody
Game
can
theory?
remember it except of Luisa.
Game
I
theory.
talked about game theory.
Yes, game theory. Game theory is one of the best mathematical models for visioning the future. You know that there's an academic field just now in America and other countries, especially even in my country, it is called future study. It is an academic field. It is not a philosophical field. And it is for engineering, not for philosophy, not for psychology. It is future study. Future study is an academic field that with the usage of mathematical models, sometimes, for example, something like game theory, they have good data and can predict the future of a field. For example, future study of post-corona world, business world. Future study of post, for example, after one decade, how is the combination, how is the categorization, for example, of psychology in the next 10 years. It is future study of psychology, future study of business, future study of everything. And it is based upon the mathematical models and very, very new and also very important knowledge. Everybody who wants to work in a field, it is no matter what field they want to work in business, in psychology, in sociology, in politics, even in engineering. This field is called future study. AI can be envisaged as a four-step technique: discovery, building, designing, sustaining. Discovery or appreciating the best of what is currently practiced. What do you have just now? What can you discover in your life just now? Discovery or appreciating the best of what is currently practiced. Everything you have in life. Building on this knowledge to help envision or dream about what the future could be. Designing or co-constructing through collective dialogue with what should be. And sustaining the organization, destiny, or future. It is something like magic, yes. How can you dream and create your dream and convert your dream to a reality in your organization? I remember that 1 year ago, in fall 2019, Marcelina didn't have her own company. Okay, Marcelina? 1 year ago.
Yes, I was still dreaming about that.
Yes, we talked about it.
Yeah.
I remember. 1 year ago, we talked about it. Marcelina had a very good luxury BMW, and near her car, we talk about the dream in San Diego campus. And now, Marcelina, you can go and check the internet site of Marcelina. Okay. Now, her vision is not only a vision, it's not only a dream, it's a reality. You do create your own reality, not only your own experience. You do create your own reality. So, appreciative inquiry is a major, important, significant approach in modern management and business world. In the 21st century, discovery, building, designing, and sustaining. The 4D cycle. We have 4D, discovery, dream, design, destiny. Because instead of discovery, building, designing, and sustaining, you can say 4D cycle. Discovery, what gives life, the best of what it is appreciating. Sorry.
And I did register that when I was in the hospital because I did all my steps. And I register, I got the registration from California government when I was actually in the hospital.
Wow.
So I did my work from the hospital pretending that I was in my own office. So they even didn't recognize that I was in the health problem.
Life goes on. Even in hospital. So you can say 4D cycle, discovery, dream, design, destiny. Affirmative, topic choice. As I love this picture. Stage 1, discovery. Stage 2, dream. Stage 3, design. And stage 4, destiny. In discovery, what are questions? Describe a time when you were most proud to be a member of your organization. What was the situation? Who was involved? What made it a proud moment? To discovery. Stage 1, discovery from 4D. Stage 2, dream. Imagine yourself and your organization have been fast forwarded by 5 years. What do you see around you? If you don't have dream, you will not reach anywhere meaningful. Your dream gives your life the meaning. Even industrial life, even business life, even life, even sexual life, all aspects of your life, you should have some good meaning in that aspect of your life. Except of that, you will reach somewhere, you will get somewhere, but it is not meaningful. So what do you see around you after 5 years from now? What does the structure look like? How have clients been created, retained, and expanded? Please take it so serious. When you are reading these topics in a very rigid academic book about the change, so you should know you are not talking about the popular knowledge about the business strategy. You are reading a very rigid academic book about change management. And in the book, we are reading about the dream. Imagine yourself and your organization have been fast forwarded by the 5 years. What do you see around you? What does the structure look like? How have clients been created, retained, and expanded? Stage 3, design. 95% of your success, 95% of your success is related to your mindset, not your activity. 95%. Because when you have a good, complete, clear, professional mindset about your success, acting based upon is not so hard, very, very easy. So discovery and the dream are very important. After that, the design. What will your ideal organizational structure look like? People systems. What the structure need to be in a place for the organization to sustain and for employees to flourish? And final part is destiny. What are the action items that we need to cover to create the organization of the future? But additional resources will be needed. After that, we have another theory. It is called four connotations about the positive organizational scholarship, or POS. Adopting a positive lens, focusing on positively deviant performance, assuming an affirmative bias, and examining virtuousness. And critics about a lot of critics about the POS. Also, you know that the major part of psychology, which is working on industrial modern psychology, industrial modern psychological aspect of organization, it is about positive psychology. In positive psychology, there are three components: positive characters, positive emotions, and positive institutions. Positive institutions, which is very important, very money maker part of positive psychology. It is very important for positive psychologists in institutions. How can we have some good, effective, and powerful aspects of life in everyday human being, not only as the human being, as the co-workers, as the employees, as the belongers, belonging to an organization. And diagnostic OD, traditional OD is diagnostic OD. Begin with diagnosis of a situation. Change comes from identifying, planning, and managing change in a systematic, unfreezing, freeze sequence. And consultant's role is a neutral facilitator who retains distance from those being affected. In diagnostic OD, you are only at the best time, at the best scenario, you are a director. You are never a coach, never. In diagnostic OD, you only identifying, planning, and managing change in a systematic, unfreezing, freezing sequence. But in dialogic OD, in versus of diagnostic OD, work with people in a way that creates new awareness. Whenever, wherever you heard about the new shaping, new, every aspect of new, it is related to coaching and mentorship, not related to the management. It is something not upper, not over, something different than psychotherapy, than counseling, than management, than leadership. No, it is very near to leadership. Engage with the stakeholders in ways that challenge existing norms, beliefs, and behaviors. Because of that, he or she is called coach, because he or she is shaping new behaviors, new belief systems, new emotional regulation settings. And consultant role is the facilitator who becomes part of the situation being changed. Note different views on the utility of the diagnostic, dialogic distinction. And we also have the features, different features in a table here. And sense making, it is the last part. Sense making is the basic part of interpreter. In this chapter, we talk about the coach and interpreter. Interpreter is only sense making, giving the meaning to the objects of change. Sense making is consistent with interpreter image of managing change. It is a social process of meaning construction and reconstruction through which managers understand, interpret, and create sense or meaning for themselves and others of their changing organizational context and surrounding. Sense-making treats organization as being in an ongoing state of adjustment to changing circumstances rather than ever being frozen in a state of inertia. Sense-making rejects the idea of change being able to be managed through a standardized change management program. And some application of sense-making perspective of managing change are that change managers should strive to provide
His computer.
Nice.
Unexpected break. Only we are on the class. No, it's Cheyenne and David. David, you there?
I am.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Hello.
We just write a text and call it a day.
Classmate, okay?
What?
No, I had the interrupter here behind, you know.
What?
His computer done.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Let's see how fast he will gonna join us.
Hi.
Przestań. Oh my God. That's how I'm studying, you know. He was putting the music here on the side and he was showing me Michael Jackson. Can you believe it? And this guy, he was talking about the business and changing, and then I hear all the other things. But I'm alone, so I didn't have anyone to stay with him.
Can you
Usually-
hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know why my computer was off.
Mhm.
So the last time I hope to record, I don't know, after sometime I will find it. Some implication of systematic managing change are that change managers should try to provide a clear narrative that articulates that what, why, and how of the proposed change. Why change, what change, and how do they change? It is a narrative description. Narration is something different from description. When you are talking about narration, description about the talking about your observation, it's description. Narration is something between description and explanation. Some aspects of explanation, some aspect of description, together it is called narration. Because humans hate a meaning vacuum, in the absence of a clear narrative, they will create meaning to fill the void, which opens up the possibility for all sorts of misinterpretation or interpretation to take hold. And finally, managers' attempts at sense living are only one source of information about what is going on. So the effectiveness is not guaranteed. Okay, we have enough time to take the quiz number 6, about 15 minutes. And please do your tasks. It is only 2 weeks until the end of the semester, until the end of the course. We are at the week 6, only 14 days until the last day. Please have a good pressure on your works, on your tasks, on your assignments, learning engagement, which you have left for the previous week's only learning engagement. You can do only for the last week, because before that it is 0, no important to engage or not. For now it is week 6. If you do week 5 learning engagement with considering the late work policy for 10% for each day, we can have some grades for you. But others like title justification, preparing the final paper, and case study, if you haven't submitted also, and other things, please go to do it, because it is only 2 weeks.
Professor, I believed I submitted my title justification, but you and the other professor said that I submitted as a draft, so they're not able to grade it. I don't know where I should submit it, you know, because I click in the title submitted the link, put it
Yes.
my yeah, I did
You
everything.
haven't
Put
submitted.
it the
I
document.
checked it. Yes, I checked it last night. You haven't submitted. You upload it as a draft. I can see it. Because of that, I can see that you have uploaded as a draft. But finally, you should submit it. You didn't click the submit sign.
That's weird because I believe I did, and okay, in both classes. Do you think I did this mistake in
Yes.
both classes? That's
I forwarded your email for Rupali and for
Marcelo.
Marcelo, as they are professional in the Moodle analytics, that my student says that I cannot submit not only for my course, also for other course. And I'm waiting for their answer. And also you can call them or email them that what should I do? I see your draft, yes, but
Okay.
I cannot give you any grade because
Okay.
it is not submitted. It is only uploaded.
Okay.
Okay, learners, please start your quiz.
Sir, I have a question.
And me too.
Concerning the final draft for the week 6, is it like a title justification or something? 'Cause I don't understand what they need from that.
No, the final draft is your draft it is the primary draft or your final paper. It is not related to
Like the table of
I-
content or something?
content and some pages and doing everything you want to present. It is only the draft. It is something near the final paper. As also, I think you have done the title justification. I think I'm not sure about you or any other students, but some of the students have sent me only the form of title justification. This form doesn't have any grade. You should choose your title and something, some defense for in why I am choosing this title. After that, I can have some grade to you.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Professor, I have a question for my learning engagement because on the beginning I was in the hospital and they didn't let me to use the devices as much I wanted. What I can do to have my grade better, because I don't want this F. I'm not, it's not normal for me to have a F on
Yes, I know you. Yes, I know you. Marcelina, it is not in my duty. I don't have any duty. I don't have any power to change the laws of university. University says after 2 weeks, instructor cannot give any grade to the learning engagement. But it is recommended to you to send an email to Rupali that I had a medical problem and I didn't have any I didn't have any learning engagement. I want to do it again. And they will talk to me, what should I do? It is not no problem. You can solve it, but it is not in my side. It is side of Chef.
Ms. Rapuli, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I will mail her. I will ask her because I don't want to have a low grade. It's affecting my diploma. I don't want to have that.
Yes, I know. And I honestly want to help you for solve this problem, but it is very technical. Moodle don't give me any permission to give some grades before 2 weeks ago. And you are talking about, for example, week 1, week 2. You should email for Rupali or maybe for chief academic officer that what should I do? And after that, they said to me, okay, professor, it is open for you. You can read the learning engagement. And after that, I can give you some grades for your learning engagement missed from the previous weeks.
Okay. And also too, I have to...
Please do it just now tonight because it is only 2 weeks and sometimes your proposal should go to discuss in an academic council and they should talk. It is time wasting. Please do it just now. I'm waiting for the answer. And
Okay,
also, please, when you are emailing your proposal, your offer,
I will send you copy.
no, put me as a CC,
Okay.
per email, that I see that what is doing here, and after replying, I will see the reply to you.
Okay. And title justification, I have to upload it as well because I had a problem to upload it that because the uploading.
Everything you had problem, you talk to them as
Okay.
an email, but please don't postpone it. Don't put it off.
No, I
Because
want to
you
do
don't
that.
have
I want to.
Okay.
I
Any
want
other
to.
question?
No, that's it.
Have a good night. Please
Thank
do
you.
your quiz, and I will see you next week. Bye.
Thank you for the time, Professor.
Thank you too.
Okay.
Bye.